And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Experience Hockey Talk, serious hockey talk for serious hockey fans. I'm Michael Lindenbaum. I'm playing with my hair because why not? And a little later on, the engineer of this show, Dickson, will be coming on to help me dissect something, but that will be a little bit later on into the show. But starting off first, the Capitals had their bye week this past week, but did play the last 2 days. Starting off the other night, Thursday the 18th, against the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey. The lineup for the Washington Capitals was Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, and Devontae Smith-Pelly, Jacob Vrana with Evgeny Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson, Brett Connolly with Lars Eller and TJ Chandler Stevenson with Jay Beagle, and Alex Chiasson. On defense was Christian Djoos with John Carlson, Dmitry Orlov with Matt Niskanen, Brooks Orpik with Madison Bowie, and Braden Holtby in goal. For the New Jersey Devils, you had Taylor Hall with Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt, Marcus Johansson with Travis Zajac and Drew Stafford, Miles Wood with Pavel Zacha and Kyle Palmieri, Brian Gibbons with Brian Boyle and Stefan Noesen. On D, they had Andy Green with Damon Severson, John Moore with Sammy Vatanen, and Will Butcher with Ben Lovejoy, with Keith Kincaid in the net for them. In the first period, it would start off with a delay of game penalty by Sammy Vatanen, 2 minutes 12 seconds in, for shooting the puck over the glass, and then at 8:01, Drew Stafford would score his 7th of the season from Marcus Johansson, and then a little over 4 minutes later, 12:10, Brett Connolly would score his 11th of the season from TJ Oshie and Brooks Orpik. And then at 18:31, Jay Beagle would be called for tripping. At the end of the first, it would be tied 1-1. Shots were 12-5 in favor of the Devils. Faceoffs were 16-7 in favor of the Devils. Hits were 8-4 in favor of the Caps. And on the power play, the Caps are 0-1 with the Devils having their first in progress. This was an okay start to the game for the Capitals, but they could have played so much better. Being outshot 12-5 is not ideal for the Capitals. What the Caps need to do is they need to generate more shots on goal and get more pressure into the offensive zone. Then going into the second period, 3:33 into the period, Andy Green would score his 3rd of the season from Sammy Vatanen and Taylor Hall. Then at 3:46, Damon Severson would be called for tripping. And then at 8:33, both Tom Wilson and Brian Boyle would both get 5-minute majors for fighting. However, Brian Boyle would also get the 2-minute instigator along with the 10-minute misconduct. Then at 10:55, Miles Wood would score his 12th of the season from Sammy Vatanen and Nico Hischier. And then at 11:09, Dmitry Orlov would score his 6th of the season from Alex Chiasson and Jay Beagle. Then at 14:26, Alex Ovechkin would be called for slashing. And then at 16:37, Travis Zajac would be called for holding. At the end of the second, New Jersey would be up 3-2 over the Washington Capitals. Shots were 25-11, which was a 13-6 advantage in that period alone in favor of the New Jersey Devils. Faceoffs were 29-16 in favor of the Devils. Hits were 19-8 in favor of the Caps, and then the Caps were 0-4 on the power play, and the New Jersey Devils were 0-2. This was another okay period for the Washington Capitals. They gave up 2 goals, but was able to get one back. The Caps need to start pressuring more in the offensive zone, generate more shots on goal, and make the most of their power play opportunities, because they did not do that in those first 2 periods. Then going into the third period, Travis Zajac would get called for interference at 8:09. At 11:47, Alex Chiasson would be called for tripping. And at 16:12, Brett Connolly would score his 12th of the season from Evgeny Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson. And at the end of the third, Washington and New Jersey would both be tied at 3 apiece. Shots were 31-19 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. The Caps had 8 shots in the third to New Jersey's 6. So one of the few times where they actually did a better job on the shot board. Faceoffs were 36-25 in favor of New Jersey. Hits were 26-22 in favor of the Caps. Power play, the Capitals were 0-5 to the New Jersey Devils 0-3. And then going into overtime, 34 seconds in, Taylor Hall would score his 17th of the season from Sammy Vatanen to give the New Jersey Devils the 4-3 victory over the Caps. And there was only one shot the entire overtime period. and only one face-off, so I did not bother logging them at all. And good morning, Shaggy. It's good to see you, my friend. Glad to have you here for another fun and exciting week of hockey talk, my friend. And of course, tomorrow you and I will be playing the hockey and having fun with that as well. And then last night, all these ads. And then last night, the Washington Capitals took on the Montreal Canadiens at home. In the lineup for Montreal was Max Pacioretty with Paul Byron and Charles Hudon. Arturi Lehkonen with Tomas Plekanec and Brendan Gallagher. Alex Galchenyuk with Jonathan Drouin and Nicolas Deslauriers. Jacob De La Rose with Brian Froese and Logan Shaw. On defense, they had Carl Alzner with Jeff Petrie. Jordy Ben with Jacob Jarabek. Victor Mete with David Schlemko, and Antti Niemi in net. For the Capitals, they did some line changes compared to the night before. This time they had Alex Ovechkin with Nicholas Backstrom and Tom Wilson, Jacob Vrana with Evgeny Kuznetsov and Alex Chiasson, Brett Connolly with Lars Eller and TJ Oshie, Chandler Stevenson with Jay Beagle and Andre Burakovsky. On defense, there were no changes, so you had Christian Hughes with John Carlson, Dmitry Orlov with Matt Niskanen, Brooks Orpik with Madison Bowie, but you did have Philip Grubauer in the net. And then, so obviously for the Capitals, Andre Burakovsky in, Devontae Smith-Pelly out. I will discuss that in a little bit because I had a minor change of who they took out of the lineup and who should have been taken out of the lineup. In the first period, Evgeny Kuznetsov would be called for tripping at 7:15. However, Tomas Plekanec would also be called for embellishment for the same call. At 17:11, Carl Alzner would then be called for slashing. At the end of the first period, it was tied 0-0. I don't know why I wrote a 1 there, but whatever. It was 0-0. Shots were 8-4 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Faceoffs were 12-6 in favor of the Caps. Hits were 10-4 in favor of the Canadiens. And on the power play, Montreal did not have one, and the Capitals were 0-1. Once again, this was an okay period for the Capitals, but they still aren't playing very well. The Caps need to start playing like they actually want to win the game. They don't seem very inspired, and they need to change that attitude. Then going into the second period at 2:51, Alex Ovechkin will be called for hooking. And then at 6:54, Tom Wilson will be called for hooking. And at 7:08 on the power play, Max Pacioretty would be score his 13th of the season from Jonathan Drouin and Brendan Gallagher. Then Jonathan Drouin would be called for unsportsmanlike conduct at 12:08. And then on that power play at 13:24, John Carlson would score his 6th of the season from Alex Ovechkin and Evgeny Kuznetsov. Then at 17:59, the Montreal bench, served by Hudon, would be called for too many men on the ice. At the end of the first period, it would be tied 1-1. Shots were 16-15 in favor of the Caps. Faceoffs were 25-14 in favor of the Caps. Hits were 13-8 in favor of the Canadiens. And the Canadiens were 1 for 2, and the Caps were 1 for 3 on the power play. This was a better period for the Capitals, but still not a quality period for them. The Caps are playing with fire with all the mistakes they're making, plus all the penalties that they're also taking. They need to clean up their game if they expect to win. And then going into the third period, you had Nicolas Deslauriers and Tom Wilson both getting 5-minute majors each for fighting. However, Tom Wilson would get a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct as well, all those penalties at the 2:02 mark. Then Andre Burakovsky would be called for tripping at 5:43. At 10:41, Paul Byron would score for the Canadiens, his 13th of the season from Max Pacioretty and Jacob Jarabek. Then at 18:42, Max Pacioretty would score his 2nd of the game and an empty netter for his 14th of the season from Tomas Plekanec and Paul Byron. And then at 19:06, Lars Eller would score his 10th of the season from Matt Niskanen and Dmitry Orlov, who ironically also, when you look at the stat sheet, Eller got his 10th of the season, as did Niskanen and Orlov in regards to assists. And then, as a result, the Washington Capitals would lose to Montreal 3-2. Shots were even, 26 apiece. Faceoffs were 32-24 in favor of the Caps. Hits were 19-18 in favor of the Canadiens. And on the power play, the Canadiens were 1 for 4, and the Capitals were 1 for 3. Now, I want to go back a couple pages real quick. Now, as everyone knows, there is the bye week now, which is really stupid. but it's here and it's stupid. Now, per the rules, you are not supposed to play a team where they have not been on their bye week. So, for instance, the Capitals were supposed to play another team that was coming off of their bye week as well. So, an interesting fact, and it was brought up by Mike Vogel of WashingtonCaps.com, and he noted that the Washington Capitals is the only team this season, when it regards the bye week, to have a back-to-back going into a bye, have a back-to-back coming out of a bye, is the road team going into the bye, is the road team coming out of the bye, and is also the only team to not play another team also coming out of the bye week. So, first off, I'm not complaining about the Capitals getting screwed, but I'm showing you right here, right now, why the bye week is not a good thing. It's not a Capitals thing, it is an NHL thing. It just is ironic that it's the Washington Capitals who are the ones that got screwed over in all of this. But in reality, there are no winners with this. There should be no bye week, period. There's a reason why you have the All-Star break. The All-Star break is where everyone goes on vacation, not the other way around. So I think it's very disappointing, that we have this bye week, and you're seeing an effect of it. The Capitals played uninspired hockey going into the break, and they're playing uninspired hockey, trying to get re-inspired, only to become uninspired again because of the All-Star break coming up very shortly. The entire month of January, in my opinion, for the Capitals has sucked. Despite them being in first place of the division, it has sucked. Because they're playing some of the most uninspired hockey I have seen this month. But wasn't it the players who wanted the bye week when they were negotiating the CBA? It was actually not part of the CBA. It was something that was put into the CBA slightly later afterwards. And I think it was a big mistake to do that. And yes, the players did want it. I think they wanted it as a counter to something else. I don't remember what. But I think it's still stupid. It really is. Now on to point number 2. This is me nitpicking the Capitals. You have Andre Burakovsky, who's going back into the lineup after watching from the press box the last couple games, which I'm fine with. You gotta do that to the young kids. Why did Devontae Smith-Pelly get taken out of the lineup over Jacob Vrana? Because Jacob Vrana really hasn't been doing much. His chemistry with Evgeny Kuznetsov is actually not as good as everyone claims it to be. One of the things I would have done is I would have kept Devontae Smith-Pelly in the lineup. I would have put him on the 4th line and put Tom Wilson on the 1st line. I agree with that, with the Tom Wilson switch up. However, one thing I would have done was I would have put Andre Burakovsky on the 3rd line with Lars Eller and TJ Oshie. And since Brett Connolly has been playing very well, I would be putting Brett Connolly on the 2nd line in place of Jacob Vrana, with Evgeny Kuznetsov and Alex Chiasson, because those guys have been connecting very well. And I think by putting Brett Connolly, who has been playing very well, should be rewarded with those 2nd line minutes with Kuznetsov and Chiasson. And Devontae Smith-Pelly, in my opinion, should not be pulled out of the lineup. But you have to get Burakovsky in, and I think Vrana should sit out and watch some games from the press box. Because I don't think, and honestly, I would be willing to switch him down, to 4th line to keep, and scratch Stevenson, who has been playing well, but that 4th line has kind of been not that noticeable lately. So that's just an observation from me about lines that needs to be worked on. Vrana should sit. He shouldn't be on the 2nd line of Kuznetsov. There is no chemistry between the two, despite what people say. So, you want to disagree with me? Say so in the comments. I already know Shaggy does all the time. So, yeah. And real quick, shout out to a sponsor. Looking for sci-fi fun, then come to the Hunt Valley Inn in Hunt Valley, Maryland for Farpoint from February 9th to 11th, 2018. Come see special guests Matt Frewer, Timothy Zahn, Nana Visitor, and many more. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit farpointcon.com today. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing TXHT live from Farpoint Convention. This will not be the first time that we've done the show live from a convention. We did it live from DerpyCon up in New Jersey back in November. We will be doing it live from Farpoint this year on February 10th. All right, now I got some questions. I know Shaggy goes, I know I'm all over the Brett Connolly hype train, but doesn't it seem like he has some chemistry with 92? Well, the thing is that that's where you got to try. If you don't try, you won't know. And not only that, but he's been playing so well that, it's worth giving him a couple games on that line with Kuznetsov and Chiasson to warrant the ability to try to see if they do have chemistry on that line. And that Dickson, who will be on in a little bit later in the chat, just said, what about Chiasson? Is he good where he is based on what you've seen this season? He's definitely playing better than I thought he would for the Caps, especially compared to how he was in the beginning of the season. I understand why they have him on the second line and TJ Oshie on the third line, because Oshie is kind of one of those catalysts on that third line, along with Brett Connolly and Lars Eller, and the three of them have been gelling so well together. So I understand it. I can see if Burakovsky can get his legs going again and start getting shots on goal, I could see a Chiasson Burakovsky switch between the second and the fourth line, definitely down the road. So that is that. Dickson, unmute yourself. You have been summoned.
Good morning, everybody.
You have been summoned.
Yes, sir, I have been summoned. What's going on, Mike?
Washington Capitals unveiled something very, very, very... Hold on, wait for it. Very ugly. And has been deemed by this show and by me, and as somebody who is a jersey connoisseur, and you can't really see it in my room, but I have every jersey in Caps history, and I'll get this one just to put with the collection, but never wear it, because it's a travesty.
Yeah.
And that is the Washington Capitals Stadium Series jersey.
Okay. Let me start off by saying...
And real quick before you do that, I did get an email from NHL Public Relations on this uniform. And I want to read this to you real quick, Dickson, because I know you didn't see this at all. Okay, so I'm going to skip the traditional, the Stadium Series game and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And the Addy Zero stuff. Marking the first time in Capitals history the team will wear a navy blue uniform. The overall design aesthetic pays homage to the U.S. Navy and highlights key elements of the Capitals' identity. Each element of the Capitals' visual identity has been emphasized to create bolder, more visually pronounced uniforms that are meant to make a statement and be more recognizable in a larger outdoor stadium setting. Okay. The Capitals Special Edition crest centers around the team's informal nickname, Caps, and is stylistically aligned to the team's current woodmark, which is also super lazy. Additionally, the crest incorporates the 3 stars from the team's primary moniker, which also honors the Washington, D.C. city flag. Yeah, we got that one. The pants feature a new contemporary W with the 3 stars of the city flag, which also serves as a subtle nod to the Washington Monument. Hold on. Let me, hold on. Give me a moment. I saved these photos for a reason. Just one moment. Where is it? Where is it? No, not that one. So it's Facebook. Okay. I'm gonna do this. So if you look at the tip of the W, where the middle star is, you can kind of see it. And for viewers who are watching and who don't know what we're talking about in regards to the uniform, that is what we're talking about. It's this. I can't get it. Doing technology on technology. There we go. Oh, that actually came up perfect. That is the uniform that we're talking about. So, let me go back to reading real quick. Additional design details include a bolder, one-color version of the Capitals numbers for better visibility in the outdoor scene. Okay, we get that. As a historic tribute to team's hometown, the numbers are accentuated with a perforated pattern based on Pierre L'Enfant's original grid plan for the city of Washington, D.C., which I do actually think is is the only cool feature to their uniform. A strong white shoulder yoke serves as a nod to the classic stars and stripes from the club's past uniforms, and the thick red stripes and hem stripes evoke thoughts of the city flag of Washington, D.C. To complete the look, the jerseys are donned with a special edition, well, yeah, no kidding, on the right shoulder, the Stadium Series patch. At the forefront of innovation design, nobody cares about that. Okay, and that's just all how you can buy the uniform. Now,
it basically what for also in other words, it's a lot of corporate speak on the leagues and on Adidas's part. Now, here's my issue. I get
besides the fact that they blew the pooch on this one.
Well, I was gonna get there. Besides the fact that you and I have both agreed that it's fine if they're trying to honor or pay homage to the Navy. I get it. But the navy blue doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But also, the biggest, and Shaggy, this is something that you and I have discussed as well, the one big thing that I hate over anything else is that gigantic red stripe that's on the bottom of the jersey. That looks ugly. Other than the fact that, the Caps thing is just atrocious.
Now,
and other than the fact with you, how you say the red text on the blue, it bleeds. I have a feeling where in that regard, it would bleed so much more since the text is so much bigger on a jersey meant for an outdoor game. The other thing is, if they wanted to do something with the Navy, they could have thrown in some kind of a camo type thing. They could have, that stylized W logo, they could have used that kind of like how they used it for the Winter Classic 3 years ago. And if they desperately wanted to use the Caps center crest logo, they could have put that on the left shoulder of the jersey.
Yeah. Now, here's the big thing. First off, we're calling it how we see it, and it looks like crap. It really does. And how to put this delicately? Well, we've already called it crap. That's number one. You talk about wanting to honor. Yeah, very Russian in look, indeed. And then I also agree with the statement that Shaggy also puts, if I get one and wear it, I'm definitely wearing a paper bag over my head about how ugly the damn thing is. No laces on them either. with the way the Adidas jerseys are with laces, I'm okay with them not having laces.
Same.
Because they've looked kind of lame. But you're talking about wanting to. You're doing the game at the Navy Naval Yard in Annapolis, Maryland. You're doing this special game at the Naval Yard in Annapolis. And you talk about wanting to honor the Navy. And the only thing that you do to honor the Navy is put Navy on your uniform. You couldn't create a Navy-inspired logo like the NHL did for the Stadium Series logo. The Stadium Series logo actually has a Navy tone to it. With the anchor and the way the eagle is, it's like, why couldn't the Capitals take the Weagle? I've heard people say use the Weagle.
No.
But take the Weagle, instead of making it like a W, make the Weagle like an anchor. And have it say Caps in the anchor going down, or put the stars put the stars on the bottom part of the anchor and have it say Caps going down. And have the Weagle head on the top of the anchor. Why couldn't you do something like that to actually honor the Navy? Take your team, what you have for your team already, and put it in there. That would be 10 times better than this abomination that the Capitals put out. Also, change it up to where, you could still have the Navy color as your base thing. You could still have the white on your shoulders. But you got to do something to fix those red stripes, because those are too obnoxious.
They are. And while on that, so when they came out with the Stadium Series logo, the main logo, they did come out with, like, the same stylized design that they have for Toronto and for Washington, kind of like that circular disc logo that I shared with you with the Winter Classic between the Blackhawks and the Capitals.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, and the league, and I forget what company who makes it, but they do this huge, gigantic logo package, and they really did screw the pooch on this one. And I get that,
we're giving real quick. We're giving Shaggy some really good hashtags right now to use.
We are.
Hashtag screw the pooch. But go on.
The thing is, again, is that I get that they wanted to do something different, and I said this before. I said if Toronto's jersey looks so much better than the Capitals, that's going to be a gigantic swing and a miss. And theirs are going to be released before February 1st, from what I've heard. And it's just... I'm not a fan, and people were saying use the Weagle, and I said no, absolutely not.
Well, no, it's like what I said. Use the Weagle, but modify the Weagle. Modify the Weagle into an actual ship anchor. It's like you can use the Weagle, but just modify the Weagle. You can do that. It's called creative, or it's called what's that word?
Creative balance.
Yes, there you go. It involves creative balance. You use something that you have already, but then you modify it creatively to honor something that you're trying to do, and you don't do it. You fail.
And this is also the biggest problem that the league, the Capitals, and Adidas also kind of screwed the pooch. Not just with this, but if they just did what the supposed original plan was to reintroduce the inaugural season look full time this year, this would not be an issue at all. They could have done something with the old look
Yeah, and Shaggy brings up a point, and then after I bring up this point, we'll move on. There is a logo on a T-shirt that has an anchor behind the Caps logo. I don't know why that didn't transfer onto the jersey. I think it could have looked good. You know what? And that's a good point too. You know, the anchor, again, we keep going back to the anchor because it's at the Naval Yard. The anchor pays a better tribute to the Navy than just putting Navy on your uniform.
Exactly.
So, good point there, Shaggy. That's also a great suggestion that the Caps should have done too. So, if anyone's listening, the three of us would like royalties when you decide to do that. Change to your uniform, since we are the ones talking about it. Live here on Twitch. And real quick, before we move on to news and notes, there is one person I do want to thank from the National Hockey League in PR, and that is Megan Cooper. Miss Cooper has been helping us with the accreditation process for the Stadium Series game. Just because she's helping us does not guarantee that she's going to be able to get it for us. But we do appreciate the help that she has been giving us in trying to help us be able to do what we love to do, and that is cover the game of hockey, break down hockey, and obviously talk hockey. And I feel if we can get the accreditation to do the Stadium Series game, it will bring a level. We always say that we're serious hockey talk for serious hockey fans. If we're able to do the Stadium Series game, that will bring a level of seriousness to what we actually do. And so again, Megan, thank you for the help that you've been giving us. I'll be in contact with you soon to continue on the accreditation process to try to cover the Stadium Series game. But Dickson, before I let you go so I can go in the news and notes, we do have a game to confirm that we will be at.
Yes, we do. Michael
Despite buying tickets for.
Yes, Michael and I, in 2 weeks, we will be at Capital One Arena when the Washington Capitals take on the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yep. And we will be...
Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep, and we will, and I think this is a good segue, we are suspending Patreon exclusive content right now because we just don't have the patrons to support it. It is a financial, Patreon, monthly membership, stuff like that, be part of the community. We just don't have enough patrons to afford to be constantly doing Patreon exclusive content right now. We have discussed behind the scenes, Dickson and I, a number of patrons we want to have that'll make it worthwhile to bringing the content back. So we will be doing Patreon exclusive content, but right now it's not. We're putting it on hold right now until we can get to the level where we want it to be, which is fair.
I agree.
But
and I agree.
But what we will be doing is we will still be filming live from Capital One Arena, pre-intermissions and post-game coverage of the Capitals Vegas Golden Knights game, and we will be posting that up on our Patreon, and I believe I will be uploading it up here onto Twitch and vodcasting that, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, when this episode is over, we will be vodcasting it throughout the weekend, so you can watch this episode live during the vodcast times. Also, you can rewatch it anytime by just clicking on the video, watching it back, or by going onto our YouTube page or Patreon page and watching it on there, which I'll be sharing the links for a little later. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Washington, D.C.'s Comic-Con is back. AwesomeCon is returning to the Walter E. Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. from March 30th to April 1st, 2018. Come see the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, including DC's own Dave Bautista, and the also now announced from Arrow, and he is also Casey Jones in the second Turtles movie, Stephen Amell, also including many more special guests with more to be announced in the time to come. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit awesome-con.com today. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, when that is going on, yes, we will be doing TXHT live from AwesomeCon as well. And So now it is time to do... Where is it? Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to do NHL and NWHL news and notes. Feels so good to have that back. But we're gonna start off right off the bat with some NWHL news and notes. Last weekend you had the U.S. national women's team taking on Team NWHL twice. The first time was on Saturday, January 13th, which saw the Team USA defeat Team NWHL 3-0. All 3 goals were scored by Amanda Pelkey, Jocelyn Lamoureux Davidson, and Gigi Marvin for the 3-0 victory. And then in the second game of the two, which took place on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 15th, you had the U.S. national team defeat also Team NWHL, which for some reason the stats aren't up. So, okay, can't do that. And then on Sunday, January 14th, you had the Buffalo Beauts taking on the Connecticut Whale, which saw the Beauts sneak out a victory 4-3 over the Connecticut Whale. The Boston Pride got goals from Maddie Elia, Taylor Acursi, Rebecca Vint, and Lisa Chesson. And then Connecticut had goals from Emily Fluke, Sam Faber, and Megan Hurtas. Sam Faber, alright, hold on. Emily Fluke would have a goal and 2 assists in this game for Connecticut. And for Buffalo, Lisa Chesson would have a goal and an assist for the Buffalo Beauts in this game. I did not see if there was actually any Player of the Week announced, so sorry I don't have that information. And then today, January 20th at 1 p.m., you have the Connecticut Whale at the Buffalo Beauts at the Harbor Center. That game is at 1 p.m. And then tonight at 7:30 p.m., you have the Metropolitan Rivers at the Boston Pride at the Warrior Ice Arena. And then tomorrow on the 21st, you have the Boston Pride at the Metropolitan Rivers at the Barnabas Health Hockey House, which will be at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Do know that there is one of the games is the Twitter Game of the Week. You also have the other games, which will be live on the NWHL YouTube page. For more information, go to nwhl.zone for more on the NWHL. And then going into NHL news and notes, on January 14th, Anaheim Ducks forward Andrew Cogliano has been suspended for 2 games without pay for interference against Los Angeles Kings forward Adrian Kemp during NHL game number 677 in Los Angeles on Saturday, January 13th. The incident occurred at 3:37 of the first period. Cogliano was assessed a minor penalty for interference under terms of the CBA, and based on his average annual salary, Cogliano will forfeit $32,258 of salary. And then also, as a result of that, it ended Andrew Cogliano's Ironman streak, which was very impressive for him at the time, especially in this day and age with how tough guys go into it. The Flames extended their season-high win streak to 7 games on the 14th. Dougie Hamilton scored twice to push his point streak to 5 contests and helped the Flames extend their season-high win streak to 7 games, the longest active run in the NHL. Elias notes that the Flames, who earned each of their last 4 wins as visitors and will host the Jets in their next contest with a road trip of at least 4 games for the first time since December 9th through 18th, 2007. Only one other team has swept a 4-game road trip this season, and that was the Los Angeles Kings. Phil Kessel, the Pittsburgh Penguins, scored the game-winning goal for their 2nd straight contest and added an assist to help the Penguins pick up their 4th consecutive win. Kessel is tied for 7th in the NHL with 20 goals, 32 assists with 52 points this season, and has reached the 20-goal mark in 10 straight seasons. Elias notes that Kessel became the 3rd U.S.-born player in NHL history to reach the 20-goal mark in 10 or more consecutive seasons. seasons. And then on January 15th, the NHL 3 Stars of the Week were announced. Your third star was Phil Kessel, right winger of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kessel registered 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points in 2 games, scoring the winning goal in each contest to lift the Penguins into the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Then your second star was Mike Smith, goalie of the Calgary Flames. Smith stopped 104 of 108 shots against, going 3-0-0 with a 1.32 goals against average and a .963 save percentage to help the Flames sweep a road trip of at least 4 games for the first time since December 9th through 18th, 2007. And then the first star, also from the Calgary Flames, left winger Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau led the NHL with 6 assists and 8 points in 4 games to propel the Flames to a perfect week, helping the team extend its overall winning streak to 7 contests. So that was your 3 stars of the week. And then on the 15th, the Avalanche pushed their streak to 7 contests. Nathan MacKinnon scored the game-winning goal for the second time in 3 days after a spectacular sprawling stop by goaltender Jonathan Bernier, as the Avalanche extended their overall and home win streaks to 7 and 6 games, respectively. Colorado has posted 7 consecutive victories for the first time since winning 8 straight games from December 31st to January 17th, 2006. The longest win streak in franchise history was a 12-0-0 run from January 10th to February 7th, 1999. Meanwhile, Colorado has won 6 straight at Pepsi Center for the first time since posting 8 consecutive wins from November 30th to December 23rd, 2011. That's a lot to say. The Islanders surrendered 2 separate 2-goal leads and were outshot 56-24, but Thomas Greiss made a career-high 52 saves, and John Tavares scored in overtime to propel the New York Islanders to its 3rd consecutive win. And Matthew Barzal notched at least 3 points for the second time in 3 days to become the 7th different rookie in the past 23 years to record at least 3 points in consecutive team games. Only 2 other Islanders rookies have achieved that feat in their 46-year history: Brent Sutter, twice in 1981 and 82, and Michael Grabner in 2010-11. All right, and then the Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, NHL, and NHLPA build homes affected by Hurricane Irma in partnership with Habitat for Humanity. Yes, Dickson, you're interrupting news and notes. How can I help you, good sir? I love you too. You better keep your thing muted. The Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, NHL Players Association, and NHL have partnered with Habitat for Humanity for Collier County to help restore the community of Immokalee, Florida, a rural agricultural neighborhood in Collier County that suffered severe damage during Hurricane Irma. In September 2017, the Lightning, Panthers, NHL, and NHLPA announced a joint donation of $2.7 million for hurricane relief to those affected across the state of Florida. Today, the hockey community combined efforts to use funding from this donation to help build new homes, sharing Habitat for Humanity's goal to create safe, affordable housing that is accessible to hardworking families. Outside of Habitat Collier neighborhoods, many homes in the community of Immokalee were no match for Hurricane Irma, which tore roofs off or completely collapsed trailers in substandard housing. Many homes had no electricity and were flooded, destroying personal possessions and beginning a plague of black mold. The small agricultural community known for farming tomatoes suffered weeks of no work and no income. So definitely hats off to the NHLPA, NHL, Florida Panthers, and Tampa Bay Lightning for giving back to the community and helping those in need. And then on the 16th, Henrik Lundqvist turned aside 25 of 26 shots to improve to 20-11 for this season and backstop the Rangers past the Philadelphia Flyers. Lundqvist had reached the 20-win mark in each of his first 13 games, or 13 NHL seasons. Lundqvist became the first goaltender in league history to reach the 20-win mark in 13 straight seasons at any point in his NHL career, and the 6th to record at least 20 victories in 13 or more campaigns overall. John Klingberg collected 2 assists to extend his point streak to a career-high 8 games and helped the Dallas Stars to improve to 4-1-0 in their last 5 contests. Also in that game, Ken Hitchcock coached his 1,500th career regular season game to become the 4th head coach in NHL history, second active to reach the milestone. UC Saros turned aside all 43 shots he faced to backstop the Predators over the Golden Knights. Nashville moved within 3 points of Vegas for first place in the Western Conference standing. Saros, who established a club record for most saves in a shutout on December 14th at Edmonton, which was 46 saves, became the first goaltender in franchise history to record multiple 40-save shutouts with the Predators. He also became the first of any team to do so in a single season since Jonathan Quick did in 2015-16. And then NHL and the Boston Bruins honor Willie O'Ree, the 60th anniversary of his first NHL game. On the 17th, this game on the 17th featured a ceremonial puck drop with Willie O'Ree, who became the first black player to compete in an NHL game on January 18th, 1958. Players on both teams will wear a commemorative 60th anniversary patch, and the anniversary logo will be painted on the ice behind both nets. 60 years ago, O'Ree dressed for the Boston Bruins and skated onto the ice at the Montreal Forum, becoming the first ever black player to compete in an NHL game. Despite being legally blind in one eye following the game, he said, "It was the greatest throw of my life. I believe I will always remember this day." O'Ree played 2 games with the Bruins before being sent to the minors. He joined the team again during the 1960-61 season, scoring 4 goals and 14 points in 43 games. O'Ree then was traded to Canadiens, but he never dressed for the club. He spent 13 seasons in the Western Hockey League before officially retiring in 1979. To commemorate O'Ree's 60th anniversary, the NHL and the Bruins are donating to Boston Parks and Recreation a refurbished street hockey rink that will be dedicated Willie O'Ree Rink. It will officially open to the community this summer. And since 1998, O'Ree has worked for the NHL as a diversity ambassador, focusing on the league's Hockey is for Everyone initiatives. To further commemorate the 60th anniversary celebrations, and the NHL and Bruins will work with Artists for Humanity, a nonprofit that aims to bridge economic, racial, and social divisions by employing under-resourced youth for art and design projects. Artists for Humanity will design and create a mural that depicts O'Ree's historic moment 60 years ago, as well as the values represented by Hockey is for Everyone: perseverance, dedication, and teamwork. The mural will be unveiled at TD Garden on January 17th and will be hung at the Bruins Arena. 2 replicas of the mural will be donated to the community, one to Ullin Memorial Rink, the home arena of Score Boston, a local Hockey is for Everyone organization. The second replica mural will be donated to Divine Memorial Rink in Dorchester, inspiring future generations of youth hockey players. And then on the 17th, Willie O'Ree, we already went over Willie. Boston, in that game, Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron each collected 2 points each, as the Bruins scored 4 unanswered goals to defeat the Canadiens for the second time this week and extend their point streak to 14 contests, the longest such run in the NHL this season. Prior to the streak, the Bruins ranked 20th in the league, but have since leapfrogged 14 teams into 6th in the overall standings. Apologies. And then Ducks score 5, snap Penguins win streak. Andre Cass was one of 5 Ducks to score as Anaheim won the opener of its 5-game homestand and snapped Pittsburgh's win streak at 5 games. The Ducks improved to 5-1-1 in their past 7 contests at the Honda Center dating to December 6. And then also in that game, Ducks captain Ryan Getzlaf registered 1 assist to become the first player in franchise history to record 600 career assists. He ranked second on the team with 4 goals, 22 assists for 26 points this season, despite playing in only 22 games. And Evgeny Malkin opened the scoring with his 20th goal of the season to become the 4th player in Penguins franchise history to record at least 10 seasons of 20-plus goals. We already went over the Caps' monstrosity of a uniform. And then on the 18th, Patrice Bergeron scored his second hat trick of the season to help the Boston Bruins push their point streak to 15 games, the longest in the NHL this season. This marks the 9th time in franchise history that the Bruins have recorded one or more points in at least 15 consecutive games, and 3rd time in the past 7 seasons. They are the only club with more than 2-point streaks of at least 15 games since 2011-12. Bergeron became the 4th player to record multiple hat tricks this season, joining Alex Ovechkin, Gabriel Landeskog, and John Tavares. He also became the first Bruins player to score multiple hat tricks in a span of 16 games since Rick Tocchet in 1995-96. Nathan MacKinnon factored on 3 of 5 goals, and Jonathan Bernier made 45 saves to help the Avalanche extend their win streak to 8 games, tied for the longest in the NHL this season, which was also held by LA and Vegas. Colorado registered a win of at least 8 contests for the first time since posting an equal run from December 31st, 2005 to January 17th, 2006. And the Philadelphia Flyers, on the night former captain Eric Lindros' number 88 was retired in a pregame ceremony at Wells Fargo Center, the Flyers overcame a 2-0 deficit in the 3rd period, and Sean Couturier scored 18 seconds into overtime to power the Philadelphia Flyers to a 5-1-0 record in its last 6 contests. Couturier has scored 8 times in his last 6 games, and boosted his 2017-18 totals to 26, 20, and 46 overall in 45 games played, extending his single-season career high for goals points. Only Alex Ovechkin and Nikita Kucherov has scored more goals this season. Eric Lindros joins Bernie Parent, Mark Howe, Barry Ashby, Bill Barber, and Bobby Clark as the only players to have their numbers retired by the Flyers. Lindros, who played his first 8 NHL seasons with Philadelphia, collected 290 goals, 369 assists for 659 points in 486 career contests, and is the franchise all-time leaders in points per game, and was also the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1997. Oh, there's one more note on that one that I need to read. And 4 different skaters found the back of the net, and Marc-Andre Fleury made 28 saves to help the Western Conference leading Golden Knights defeat the league-leading Lightning and move within 2 points of Tampa Bay for first place in the NHL standings. Vegas became the 5th team in NHL history to reach the 30-win mark in its inaugural season. And then we have we also had Kings Brown fined for cross-checking, Penguins Malkin fined for spearing. Unfortunately, the passing of Red Fisher. But I want to talk about 2 injury notes real quick. For the this way, so I can get them to load up faster. And they're both major blows to both of these teams. And that is that for the New York Rangers, Kevin Shattenkirk will be out indefinitely for the Rangers. Will have surgery on his left knee. He plans to return before the end of the regular season. The injury is a meniscus tear in his left knee and will have surgery on Monday. Shattenkirk, who has played in all 46 games for the Rangers this season, said at practice Friday that he has been playing with knee pain since training camp and it didn't make sense to continue without having the surgery. He is planning to rehab in time to be back with the Rangers before the end of the season. Their final regular season game is against the Philadelphia Flyers on April 7th. So obviously this is a major blow to the defense, especially offensively, for the New York Rangers, who had been struggling this season. And then also Ryan Nugent-Hopkins missed 5 to 6 weeks for the Oilers due to cracked ribs. Center leads Edmonton in goals and ranks 3rd in points on the team. Nugent-Hopkins, who was placed on injury reserve Thursday, leads the Oilers with 16 goals and is 3rd with 31 points in 46 games. He was injured late in the second period of Edmonton's most recent game, a 3-2 overtime win at the Vegas Golden Knights on January 13th. So those are both massive blows for their teams. And one final NWHL note real quick. Start news and notes with women's hockey. We're going to end it with women's hockey. And that is the National Women's Hockey League is pleased to announce the head coaches for All-Star Weekend on February 10th and 11th in Minnesota. 3-time Olympian Trisha Dunn Luma, who won gold with Team USA in Nagano in 1998, and Winnie Brown, the first ever winner of the Miss Hockey Award for high school hockey in Minnesota and a member of the U.S. national team program for a decade, are going to be the coaches for the NWHL All-Star Weekend. And so definitely congratulations to them, and a reminder to those in partnership with the NHL's Minnesota Wild. 2018 NWHL All-Star Weekend will take place February 10th through 11th at the Trio Rink, the Wild's state-of-the-art practice facility in downtown St. Paul. The Skills Challenge will take place on Saturday, February 10th at 6:45 p.m. Central Time, and the 2018 NWHL All-Star Game will be on Sunday, February 11th at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Tickets are available now at nwhl.zone/tickets. And that's how we end all the news and notes. Let's take a look at comments real quick. Tarek reporting the Lions at Catherine. Okay. Okay, cool. And with that, real quick, one more shout out to a person who loves our show. Looking for the latest hockey cards. Dickson, mute the mic, man. Looking for the latest hockey cards that have come out, or looking for some hockey statues or pop vinyls, then no worries. My friend Donald has all your needs. For more information on deals and what Donald can do to help you with your collection like he does with me, email him today at blake4av@aol.com. And ladies and gentlemen, this episode will be re-aired a couple times this weekend via vodcast. So definitely, while watching, invite others to watch with you. Comment during the show. Always encourage that. And then this episode will be put up onto our YouTube for archival purposes. And you can also go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/TXHT_hockey. That is where you can find the link for this episode and all the other episodes that we have done in the past as well. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, join the Patreon community today. We are building more content as we go along. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I will be doing the MCW experience. For that, you can watch that on facebook.com/MCW podcast. It is the MCW Breakthrough series beginning tonight with The Emergence. It's also the first episode that I'll be doing without my co-host Mansa since his passing last week. So this will also be kind of an emotional one. And then, ladies and gentlemen, X75 Productions, which produces this show, also has a new little web series or YouTube series that I do with my friend Jeff McDonald called Trying the S Word, crap. Where it's exactly what we do. We try different stuff. Our first episode is up now on the X75 Productions YouTube page. It is called We Are Trying Mountain Dew Ice, which, as Dickson saw, Dickson, unmute your mic real quick. Pretty much tell the people what it was.
Basically,
it was straight to the point.
Super caffeinated Sprite.
Yeah, exactly. We are planning our next episode soon for that. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Experience Hockey Talk, serious hockey talk for serious hockey fans. If you like what you see, join the Patreon community today at patreon.com/TXHT_hockey. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/TXHT_hockey. Follow us on Twitter at TXHT_hockey. And of course, tell your friends to like and follow us here on Twitch, where we will be live every Saturday at 11 a.m. TXHT or twitch.tv/TXHT_hockey. And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately for YouTube, you just have to type in TXHT space hockey to find our page. Once we get to 100 subscribers, we will be able to create the link, the URL that we want to have to be able to share out to all of you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Serious Hockey Talk for serious hockey fans. This has been the Experience Hockey Talk. I am Michael Lindenbaum, and until next Saturday at 11 a.m., we will see you on the ice.